Guys, I have something really interesting in here. You're talking about moments of total loss. You're talking about 7 generations. You're talking about the Hixon family and Mr. Frank Foster. I don't know where to start, but I'll leave you to start because so many interesting stuff. But then potentially a bit of history on the family.
Okay.
And then the moment when you got involved and became chairman. Also the moment when you decided on how to involve the next generation, and then how did a simple lumber business become one of the biggest electronics businesses in the US?
My privilege to be here, and thank you for this, and thank you for what you're doing for other families. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
So the Hixon family story starts back in 1860 with Gideon Hixon, who was a successful lumberman, built his first mill in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and started to build his business around the expansion westward in the United States. But his business really took off just before World War I, because it turned out the lumber that they made was very good for making crates.
Okay.
And in World War I, you needed a lot of crates to send things around the world at that point.
Okay.
So it took off. He suddenly had mills from Wisconsin all the way to Oregon. And then his son and his then great nephew moved the family headquarters to Chicago.
Okay.
And in Chicago, there were 2 young guys who lived down the hall in the office, named Edwin Booz and Carl Hamilton.
Okay.
Now, they're better known today as the founders of Booz Allen Hamilton.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, that's a twist.
But at that point, they were just 2 young consultants with a deal.
Okay, got it.
And the deal was a technology company, which doesn't sound like much in today's technology.
Okay.
But it was, they'd seen a company that had a kit for putting wire together without solder.
Oh, okay.
And you've got to remember, this is now the period between World War I and World War II.
Okay.
And any enabling technology for aircraft or marine service is extremely valuable.
Okay.
So the Hixons put up the dough.
Okay.
They found a CEO for the company, and this little company, Aircraft Marine Products, was born.
Interesting.
Well, it took off during the war.
Okay.
They couldn't buy enough of it. Great story, except like a lot of wartime stories, once the war was over, the government reneged on its contracts.
Oh,
So
okay.
the company had to come back to the Hixons and say, it was a good run, we need a little more money, but we got an idea, which is we think that this technology that we've been using could be really good for all these electronics that are coming out of Japan right now.
Okay, interesting.
We'll make the little connectors because we can do this. So they did it, and they were right. But they were really right when the whole computer revolution came along. And suddenly, they were the leading supplier of all the little switcher connectors that went into the computers, and then into the networks, and then into all the cabling.
Wow.
So this company that had been called Aircraft Marine Products was rebranded in around 1960 as AMP, A-M-P.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
And
okay,
so-
that's another one.
So AMP then went public and grew and grew and grew and grew all through the 70s, 80s, and had become the largest electronics company in the United States at that point.
Wow.
The family had continued to grow along with this. My father had come in, and as the sort of fortunes with AMP grew better and better, he began to diversify the businesses and started an oil and gas company, a real estate company, and a venture capital company. But the main asset had been AMP, which was now a huge company.
Okay.
So late 90s, there's a hostile takeover attempt for AMP.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was then driven into the arms of a white knight, a company called Tyco.
Okay.
And so this was a great moment. And in 1998, the company was sold for $11.3 billion.
Wow.
So this is a big win for the family. And basically everything this guy at Tyco touched turned to gold. So the family took stock, kept going. We had our other family businesses that were growing, and it's all really good until the second chapter of the story,
And,
which is that the guy who was running Tyco became increasingly ostentatious about what he was doing, but then he got caught buying artwork and shipping it to New Hampshire headquarters and then trucking it in the middle of the night to avoid taxes in New York, which doesn't sound like much.
Okay.
But some smart short seller in Dallas said, wait a second, this guy's making $120 million a year and he needs to cheat on his art? I'll bet you that's not the only thing he's cheating on.
Okay.
And he was right. They dug into the company and they uncovered systemic accounting fraud.
Okay.
So this is right in the wake of Enron. So you can imagine how the markets reacted.
Okay.
The stock went from 60 to 6 in 6 weeks.
Wow.
And was heading under at that point.
Okay.
So 90% wipeout, panic within the family. And I had been working in private equity. I'd graduated from Harvard Business School and was working in international private equity when I came back to the family. And we had a moment of real introspection.
Yeah.
Like, against the backdrop of all of this, do we keep our family company?
Okay.
So I then led a whole mission around the country to meet with the different clans of the family. And there were sort of 8 different clans at that point.
Okay.
And really sat down and said, hey, this is what it looks like if I sold everything tomorrow and what you'd get after tax. And here's our plan, particularly around our real estate company. And this is what I think we can build it into. But you got to make a decision, because the businesses we're in, real estate, venture capital, oil and gas, are long-term capital-intensive businesses. You don't sell a piece of them. You got to decide to stay together.
Yes.
And we did. So the family 100% stayed
So
together.
you glued them together.
The new management that was put into Tyco did a good job, and the stock came right back up. And then my cousin and I launched a lawsuit against Tyco, and we won back all the money the family lost selling under duress.
Wow. Wow.
So, a scary story.
Scary. It is.
has a happy
Actually, a novel,
ending.
by the way. Okay, great.
Has a happy ending.
Okay.
And so you were asking then, when I became chairman. Well, a few years later, I was asked to become chairman of the family companies. And I had kind of an unusual viewpoint of coming in, because I'd seen what a family looks like when it almost gets taken away.
Okay.
And I didn't love what I saw. I saw generation maybe 2, overly dependent on inherited wealth. They didn't really understand the family businesses, and they'd kind of lost the ability to work together, particularly around money and in a crisis. So when I became chairman, I swore that was never going to happen again.
Okay.
So we tripled down on the development of our next generation.
Okay.
I didn't think I could fix 40-year-olds, but I wasn't going to let a lot of 20-year-olds go by at this point.
Okay.
So we...
And were those families like close to each other? Were they communicating at all to start with?
Our family has always really enjoyed each other. Whether people were working the way they should have or not, my cousins are great people.
Okay,
and, are great philanthropists, sportsmen, it's a very, very close family.
Okay.
And when we were just doing this like sell or keep thinking, one of the things was, this is a real gem that we have.
Okay.
And this is something we should protect and hopefully go on for generations and generations.
Right.
So we tripled down on our training. We set up everything from, educational scholarships to a program where any young family member who graduated from college could come work for a year in the venture capital division, where we'd really mentor them. Our thinking was, let's grab them right out of college. Let's give them great training. Let's marinate them a little bit in the family values and why this is such a gem. And then help them for that next step in their career. And then hopefully that leads back to the family. But I wasn't going to outsource our development of our next generation to the universe. I wanted to make sure we did part of it.
That we agree. And I think you've heard me when I said I'd rather teach them within the family and own business and as early as possible than outsource that learning, right? I totally agree on that.
So the other thing we did is we realized that we always had a very formal, big annual meeting.
Okay.
You got to remember, we've got 160 family members now, so this is starting to be a big group.
Yeah.
But our annual meeting was always on a Tuesday, Wednesday in May.
Okay.
And then I'm like, wait a second, we want all these good, employed young family members.
Okay.
how are they going to be in a meeting on a Tuesday, Wednesday in May?
Okay.
So we changed it. The 40 and unders have an annual meeting on a weekend in November
Okay.
where they can get together as cousins starting at age 21, and they get a time working with the young non-family management.
Okay.
So we give the young non-family management the chance to actually practice running an annual meeting.
Okay.
But it also built this sort of connection between the young family members and the rising management of the company
Okay.
to where they've kind of grown up together.
Okay. Well, very interesting.
So it's been an interesting relationship. We did this. The results have been unbelievable. You know, we've had now out of the program, we've had 5 MBAs and 2 JDs just out of the 15 family members that have gone through this. We have 2 that have risen to the board of the real estate company.
Okay.
We now have 3 who now make up the board of the venture capital company.
Interesting.
So we've really seen this generation move forward. But what I didn't anticipate out of this was the overall effect it would have on the family community. Meaning, like, some of the older, grumpier family members
Okay.
suddenly saw their kids or grandkids really involved in working together. And it kind of brought them back in again.
Okay. Interesting.
And then for the really young ones, they looked at their cool older cousins. They were like, okay, there's something special here. Not sure what it is, but I want to be part of that. So I would say it's by investing into the middle, kind of,
Okay.
we're making the family closer than it's been before.
I witnessed that. I witnessed that also with my family, and that the parents feel, and the reason why I think it gives them that feeling is that they feel that their kids' future is being taken care of, and that gives them a peace of mind and a peace of heart and open them up back again to the family, which has a very interesting psychological impact. I don't know if this is what you also have.
Exactly.
Okay, amazing. How is the family structured, by the way? Is it like a trust, or how does that work?
So it was interesting. When we had our big windfall with the
Yeah.
Tyco things, my father was running things.
Okay.
And my father said, I don't really want to be the asset manager for the family.
Okay.
So he took and gave a chunk out to the family,
Okay.
and then he kept some in to help build the new businesses.
Okay.
But he said, he really wanted to be a family of business builders.
Okay.
So most of the families would have their own family office managing the wealth.
Okay.
And then we wanted the central companies to really be where we worked together and built things together,
Okay.
rather than just managing money.
Certain side of me have always believed in that approach keeps everybody not aligned, more so than interested in working together, because they don't feel the pressure of having to work together. They see the value of wanting to work together, and that brings in better results in some instances. So I genuinely believe in that approach. But you're probably the first that I encountered that actually did that, and you're telling me it works.
Well, it's like some of my college papers. It's a subset of one.
Okay, fantastic. And you told me about the training program that you are evolving with the university. What brought that thought to you, A? And then what is it meant to achieve?
So I went through this, and I kind of got into the training business because I knew the family needed it. I'm not a professional teacher.
Okay.
And when you do this, you realize what you're good at and what you're not.
Okay.
But I really wanted to have an institutional solution for the family for the future that included our family, but was also open to other families as well.
Okay.
So I've been giving a lecture at Stanford for years, and the dean of the Graziosi School of Business at Pepperdine University contacted me and said, we are looking at family business potentially being a core competency of the school, and could we talk to you about that? And when I talked to them about it, they were enthusiastic, but a lot of the things they wanted to do were kind of either things that are done at other places or done by advisors.
Okay, so more on the academic advisors, consulting
I said,
language. Yeah.
that's not, I said, what's lacking in my opinion is a place that's really dedicated to the development and training of the young people.
Interesting.
And that includes personal development. So a third of the program is personal development, It's professional development and it's experiential development. So that's how we've sort of approached this. And I've worked with just this amazing professor there, Darren Good, for the past 6 years to design a specific program that was a year-long transformational program for the training and development of next-gen members of family enterprises.
You know, I believe this region needs that desperately.
Well, it's, we need it in the United States. And so we have gone...
Is it up and running already?
No, not yet. We just got through accreditation.
Okay,
so
interesting.
One of the things we believed is...
Qualify as a diploma or a master's?
It will. It'll be a master. It's the first Masters of Science in Family Enterprise that's ever been accredited. Very excited. Pepperdine just offered us a amazing facility.
Okay.
So we have, right in the middle of Malibu, an 8,000 square foot facility that we're now getting to design as a state-of-the-art learning center that'll be used for the program. So hopefully first class in 2026, assuming I can get through all the Malibu building codes.
Okay, amazing. And is this your new passion? Is this?
It's a part of it.
Okay.
The second thing I've been working on is a concept I call futurizing.
Okay.
And this is...
Can I use that terminology?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic.
So it's the aligning of your family's innovation strategy with the development and training of your next generation. Okay. Sort of simply put, you want your talent of the future developing and learning on the businesses of the future where they're going to be the future leaders.
Okay.
So to do this, we've always used our venture capital division as also the R&D division of the real estate company.
Okay.
But in this case, I wanted to take it to another level. So I've partnered with a group called Touchdown Ventures, which is the largest manager of custom VC for corporates in the world. They run the VC programs for 28 major corporations.
Amazing.
And I said, why couldn't you do this for families? So we've started experimenting on this, where I have a Touchdown team that not only helps us manage our venture capital, but also trains our next generation side by side with the professionals within their organization. Because Touchdown runs so many funds, they're constantly training new analysts and associates.
Yes.
I was like, what an opportunity for our young family members. So we just went through the first one of those.
Okay.
And it has been great. So I think it's something that we're going to work on and expand, and I would definitely recommend other families to think about. So
could I suggest something that might, contribute to your vision on this?
Yeah.
Which is the venture studio approach also. The venture capital approach teaches quite interestingly how do you see a business and value the business and be able to due diligence the business and be involved to a certain degree into a business, which is an amazing exercise. I actually exercise it with my family and with some surrounding families. But I think what would add more to the younger generation with the family is also to get them into venture studios, meaning they build 3 to 4 businesses at a time from scratch, and those are small businesses, and they need to be like bootstrapped, and then they need to get very creative on how to make money from little money, and with that they get to have to multi-skill and to do a lot of things themselves, which readies them for it humbles them definitely, and then skills them for any major roles they would play in any business. Even if they decide to go outside of business and go to the government or go to an employment position, that mentality helps them excel quite a lot in their life with conviction. So probably something that I'll suggest you look at.
You are, I think, 100% right. I mean, that's what my father did with me to a certain extent.
Okay.
Really pushed me to go be an entrepreneur and learn, that way. Interesting you're saying, my daughter started in our venture division.
Okay.
She identified a technology that one of the companies had. She looked at it and said, that could apply to skincare.
Okay, amazing.
She then researched it, negotiated with the company, got a license for the technology, and she is now stepping out of the family to run her own business, and it's exactly that experience that you're talking about.
Amazing. So I would And if I would, suggest something for the program, where you highlighted the experiential part of it, whereby they gain experience, I would truly do it in a venture studio.
I love the idea.
Yeah. So and such a program, if it comes out as masters, I think I'm involved with 4 universities in the country, major ones. Those have no less than 50,000 students across them. And the subject of family businesses is a big subject in the region because most businesses are family businesses. And I think they would benefit a lot from something like this.
Oh, I'd be excited. My last thing I'm working on, I think you'll find quite interesting, which is, as you step back, you get a chance to think about family business and how to do it better. And one of my sort of favorite articles, it was one of the sort of seminal Harvard Business Review articles by a guy named George Stalk on why family businesses have a competitive advantage. Okay. And so basically what it comes down to out of the article is they're able to have a longer term horizon on making their investments, connected shareholder base, which allows your business to be stable and allows management to do what they can. And then it's actually better for talent retention, because not only within your family, but if that family brand is important and the way your family behaves, you can attract really great management who kind of get to be part of the family. And if they're going to dedicate their career to any company, it's something that seems very attractive. So we've always been able to keep really good, really talented management of doing it. So it really resonated with me. But the one thing is it presupposes that the family stays together.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking a lot about the dynamics of managing the family part of the business. Well, I came across a book earlier this year that hit me completely. It was called The Psychology of Mattering. And it's a book that looks at mattering as an individual psychological construct, very much tied to self-esteem, self-actualization, belonging, motivation, and really happiness.
Interesting.
And so I looked at it, I was like, wow, does that apply to family business? And as I thought about it and started working with Darren Good at Pepperdine and also a group from Generation Transition Advisors, a consultant, we really thought through, could mattering become a new lens for how a family manages the family business? And when you think about it, it goes 2 ways. The first is it true that what the family does as a business matters to the shareholders? Does it really matter? And then secondly, does the family leadership and the family business really make the family shareholders feel like they matter?
Okay.
Because if
you get very much with what I used to say in the session. Yeah. Okay.
You could see why it resonates so much.
Yeah.
But you get those 2 things together, you create a family community that actually can have the kind of stability that would underpin that competitive advantage that George Stalk was talking about. So I just wrote a thought piece, which came out actually today.
Interesting. On
this. You can find it at Campden FB.
Okay.
But on this whole idea of mattering as an important part of how to manage the family part of the family business. So I'll be very interested to see what you think.
I think people would expect much from you, sir. And definitely seeing your touch on a program like a master's program at the university will mean a lot. I classically ask the question, if you have a time machine and you'd go back into the history of the family, what would be the 2 things that you would change?
Well, I think we had a chance to buy a sports team at one point.
Okay.
I never thought they would be as valuable as they are now. No, the San Antonio Spurs would have been one of the teams that we ended up owning a little part of.
Okay.
But it would have been nice to have. No, your question on what you would do differently. One of the things that I wish we had done differently when we sort of separated, sort of when my father gave things out to the family and did that, the one thing I didn't realize would happen, and I think you'll really understand, is that each family started to have its own advisors.
Okay. Just too much cost there. Okay.
No, too much sort of self-interest of other things being inflicted on our family.
Yeah.
And I wish we had been more careful about how we stayed together as a family at that point, because soon after is when we had our weak moment.
Okay.
And when the Tycho thing blew up, and we could have been better prepared and stronger, I think, if we'd been
Together.
more together
More
at that point.
together, yeah.
Then my final one is my father's second venture capital investment was Apple.
Okay, interesting.
And the only problem was, I can remember after he IPO'd, he's like, Steve Jobs is driving us crazy.
Okay.
We got to get out of this company.
Okay, that's
So I shudder to think what it would be worth right now.
Well, it happens.
It happens.
You never know what goes, yeah?
You never know.
So it's as I keep saying, in business you have three variables that matter, that usually affects it. One is having the right idea or the right decision at the right time,
Yeah.
in the right place. You have some control on the first one, but you don't have on the other two.
No.
That's the reality of things. So luck plays a major role. It does.
It does.
A word of wisdom.
A word of wisdom from our experience is, don't be afraid to believe in young people. They are why you're doing this. This is the future. And, I think it's too easy in a lot of families to dismiss that until it's too late. And so what we found is it's just amazing. You can give responsibility to an 18-year-old. And these days, it's amazing what an 18-year-old can do, or even younger. And I think you've really talked to this. And so my thing is, trust your young family members, believe in them, don't judge them. Like, not at the beginning. This generation is judged so often.
Yes.
Like, it's a life that you and I may not understand.
Yes.
But rather make sure you're really investing in them and giving them the tools and the attention so that they can be the kind of person they want to be. And so, a lot of families, I think, don't really appreciate that till it's often too late. So I'd say do it early.
I totally agree. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward truly to a session only talking about the program whenever it's ready. So I think a lot of people need it, and I think you'll do a favor to a lot of people that are trying to sustain their families. So thank you very much for coming in, joining us today, and I look forward for the next session.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you for all your hospitality.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.